How the King of Saudi travels the world. The King of Saudi Arabia, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, is a special kind of king that loves to do things uniquely when traveling. He's widely regarded as one of the most notable and richest monarchs in the world. But there is one thing that the king is more peculiarly known for the world over. It's none other than his traveling habit. But what is it exactly about King Salman's traveling habit that it has especially grabbed the attention of the whole world and has become a subject of debate universally? Let's get it on. Many monarchs around the globe are known for their extravagant lifestyles and lavish expenditure, but the King of Saudi Arabia takes the extravagant lifestyle to a whole new level. It is expected that rich and influential leaders of the globe travel with their escorts and probably a heavy security detail for their protection and mobility. Like ancient monarchs who travel with thousands of gold, silk, and food items and accompanied by a large entourage of servants and aides, King Salman has likewise adopted this approach and flamboyantly displays his wealth on his travels. King Salman literally brings the whole palace with him whenever he travels. On each of his travels, he's usually accompanied by thousands of people including assistants, family members, servants, and heavy security detail. Yes, you heard that right, he travels with no less than 1,000 people. All these are preparations made to make the Saudi king feel at home whenever and wherever he travels to. It is estimated that the King of Saudi has a combined wealth of over $1 trillion. That's the kind of wealth the House of Saud controls in the Middle East. King Salman also travels with hundreds of luxury vehicles and dozens of aircraft. In 2017, the King of Saudi Arabia visited Indonesia for a 9-day tour on diplomatic issues. This particular trip drew a lot of international attention as well as worldwide media coverage, since it was the first time in over 50 years that a Saudi king had visited the country on diplomatic issues. You see, when the king arrived in Indonesia, he did so in a rather bedazzling manner. He brought with him over 1,000 people, and he and all of his entourage arrived in a fleet of 7 aircrafts that included 2 Boeing 747s and 777s and a 757 and a 737 and a Lockheed C-130 Hercules transport aircraft. Seriously, that's just ridiculous! These aircrafts were all exquisitely decorated with luxurious fittings and state-of-the-art interior decor, but that's not all. The king also brought along a lot of luggage with him that included hundreds of luxury vehicles and other luxury items that collectively weighed over 500 tons. The aircraft in which he flew in had 2 custom-built freestanding escalators made from pure gold and with which he descended. Upon arriving, he immediately requested that a custom-made toilet be built for him alone inside the mosque closest to his residence. It took over 572 workers to transport and unload the cargo that the Saudi king traveled with. King Salman's extravagance when traveling can simply not be rivaled. On one of his other trips to Japan, he ordered a fleet of 500 limousines, and this created an unprecedented logistics problem that the country, with all of its technological advancement, had never witnessed before. At the end, the cars had to be transported from all over Japan. For his accommodation, the king booked over 1,200 rooms in one of Tokyo's best hotels, and he did a similar thing while in France. His motorcades on any of his trips always far outdo the presidential motorcade of his host countries. During his first ever trip to Moscow on a visit to the Russian president, King Salman expectedly came in grand style. For this grand trip, he brought along over 2,000 pounds of food, accompanied by his exotic furniture as well as carpets. He then went on to book 2 entire hotels that cost him over $3 million for a few nights, and guests who had plans to stay in the hotel got their bookings canceled and residents of the hotel were vacated as well. King Salman sure lives up to his title as the king who always takes his palace with him whenever he travels. The world would witness an even more grand display of the Saudi king's opulence when he visited the United States on a presidential visit. He famously booked the entire Four Seasons Hotel in Georgetown with a capacity of 2,200 rooms. As is customary with the king, he made sure to bring along his luxury items and ordered the redecorating of the hotel with items he brought from Saudi Arabia, such as golden mirrors, gold end tables, golden lamps, and exotic carpets. During his stay, he ordered every nook and cranny of the hotel to be covered in royal carpets. The king didn't want to walk on hard surfaces. King Salman is highly reputed for always placing a premium on his privacy, and he demonstrates rather obviously by buying out the most luxurious hotels wherever he might be visiting anywhere in the world. When he visited France in 2015 on a trip to discuss the business relations that exists between France and Saudi Arabia and other Gulf Arab countries, he arrived with his massive entourage and had an entire beach closed off solely for his private enjoyment and safety while he was there. During this diplomatic visit, he stayed in a villa along the Mediterranean coast in a town called Valerie with his entourage of over 1,000 people. He ordered the beach closed off to tourists as well as locals living within the vicinity just for his privacy and security. The locals and tourists would soon revolt, who considered the king's action a violation of their rights, and only after a few days, over 150,000 petitions were signed against the French government to have King Salman vacate the beach. The king, out of love and respect for the French people, vacated the beach a few days later, allowing the locals and tourists return to enjoying their stay at the beach. It is widely reported that the most expensive vacation in modern history was taken by the Saudi king during his trip to Morocco. His total expenses for the trip have been widely estimated to be around $100 million. Shocked, right? Well, don't be. Most wealthy people in the world have done crazy things with their money, like making weird purchases and even unbelievable expenses just to emphasize how much they are willing to go overboard with their money. Well, King Salman once had his luxury multi-million-dollar yacht called the Serene make an entire journey just to meet him when he landed. This is a yacht that cost the king a whopping $280 million and attracts a high maintenance cost of $28 million annually. The king also once had his yacht take off to the Maldives so it could be there when he arrived, but ended up canceling his intended trip to the island nation. So his multi-million-dollar yacht made an all-round overseas journey for no reason at all and without him even being aboard. His son, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, is the heir to the throne of the Saudi Empire and the kingdom's interim ruler. He does make sure to follow in his father's footsteps. Prince Salman might not travel with as many people as his father, but the prince loves to do things as grandly and as lavishly as his father. The prince once made a trip to Los Angeles with his entourage for an event, and he ended up booking the entire 285 rooms of the beautiful Beverly Hills Hotel in Los Angeles, amounting to a total figure of $2 million per night. Of course, this amount was settled because it didn't mean much for someone like the Crown Prince of Saudi. However, the most interesting part is that the prince didn't stay at the hotel with his entourage. He only booked the entire hotel for his guests and entourage and decided to stay in another hidden private residential location for safety reasons. Just like his father, the prince has also faced negative criticism for his opulent display of wealth. In 2014, when the Prince of Saudi Arabia visited the Maldives for vacation, it was reported that he completely booked out 3 entire island resorts at a whopping cost of over $30 million. It is safe to say that wealthy leaders of the world take their privacy and security seriously when traveling to foreign territories, which is why most leaders would travel with escorts and heavy security detail. But the monarchical ruler of Saudi Arabia loves to travel with maximum comfort, style, and opulence, and not many world leaders can afford to travel like the King of Saudi Arabia. And that's it from us today. What do you think about how the King of Saudi travels? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more of our luxurious content. And why not click on another video showing now? This is The Luxurious. Talk to you in the next video.